you guys? Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. It's another day, it's another story between Ryan Edwards' girlfriend, Amanda Connor, and Ryan Edwards' soon-to-be ex-wife, Mackenzie Edwards. So if you guys are keeping up with the situation a little bit, y'all know that Ryan Edwards is in the middle of a pretty nasty divorce with his ex-wife, Mackenzie. Now, it came out not too long ago that Ryan, his new girlfriend Amanda, was not allowed to be around Mackenzie and Ryan's children, Jagger and Stella. And I actually did a TikTok video about this where I talked about it. Not in depth. Like the TikTok video was not specifically about how Amanda couldn't be around the kids. It was just mentioned in the video. It was just something that was mentioned, like, oh, because she's not allowed to be around the kids. And I went into the discussion or whatever, and I had a lot of people in the comment section say, like, who's stopping her from being around the kids? If this is Mackenzie's request, then that shows you that Ryan is at least respecting it to not let Amanda be around the kids. It's actually not Mackenzie's request specifically. It is ordered through the courts that Ryan is to have supervised visitation at his parents' house and that Amanda cannot be there. Amanda's not allowed to be around the kids at this time. And Amanda actually did a video explaining this on her TikTok account. I'm going to play it and we're going to listen to it. We're going to discuss it because I have some thoughts as someone who was in a very similar situation. Not just like Mackenzie's, but as someone that was in a similar situation as Mackenzie, I have two kids, a boy and a girl, and their dad suffered with addiction. And the girls that he always seemed to date, they had criminal records and addiction issues as well. And my first priority was always my children and their safety. And I'm sorry, but just because you tell me you're clean, that doesn't. Addicts are known liars. That is something that even in recovery, it's talked about, is that addicts have to kind of learn how to be honest, because what's the first thing that you do when you become an addict? You start lying. You have to lie to cover up the fact that you're an addict. When you leave to go meet your dealer, you have to lie about where you're going. When there's money missing out of the account, you have to lie about where the money went. When you're asking to borrow money from relatives, you're having to lie about why you need that money. So when the bills aren't getting paid and the lights are getting cut off and you're having to borrow money from someone, or you have to go stay somewhere, you have to lie, right? So I'm probably going to get some flack for this because I know everybody views Mackenzie as a jealous, clout chasing, whatever. And you can view her as whatever you want to view her as. I think she is putting her kids first, regardless of if she is any of those other things. She's putting her kids first. And I see that and I agree with what she's doing. Do I think it'll last? Do I think that the judge will continue to say, hey, the kids are not allowed to be around Amanda? No. It will come a point where the judge will say, okay, especially if Ryan marries her, I think the judge will probably change their mind. But let's listen to Amanda explain why she's not allowed to be around Mackenzie and Ryan's kids.
Hey guys, I'm here just to clear up the air and tell our side of the story. I've seen so many pages talk about why I specifically am not allowed to be around his children. Take it. The other party does state that we are on DRUGS, and that is not true at all. Ryan?
I'm going to stop her right there, though. She says the other party does state that we are on DRUGS. Okay, so when this order was put into place, it was put into place like months ago. I know when Amanda initially retained custody of the kids was in February of 2023, before Amanda even come into the picture. February 2023, when she filed for a divorce, she also filed for temporary custody of the kids. And Ryan was literally spiraling at the time. He had gotten arrested. He had trashed the house. He had violated a protective order that she put against him. Literally, she got a protective order the next day he violated it. Or actually, I think it was the night that she got it. He violated it. So here's the thing. The first point that she got temporary custody was in February when he was full blown the worst point of his addiction, probably. Well, they had a court date a few months back, and Ryan did not show up. He did not show up. Granted, his attorney told him he did not have to be there, but I don't know. If I was going for custody of my kids, I would be at every hearing. I don't even think I would ask my attorney, do I need to come or do I not need to come? And I do understand Ryan has a job, so probably for, considering he has a job, he probably decided to ask, hey, is this a hearing I need to be at? Because if not, I'm going to go to work. But I just think when it comes to custody hearings regarding your children, you go. I don't care. The other party may be there and you want to see what they're going to tell the judge. So you should go. He did not go. It was at that hearing that she retained again custody of the kids. It was at that hearing that the judge put an order in that Ryan was to get temporary custody, that Mackenzie was to get temporary custody of the kids, and that Ryan would get supervised visits at his mom's house, at his parents' house, and that Amanda was not allowed to be around the kids. This was a few months back, okay? At this point, yes, they were saying that they were both sober. Mackenzie doesn't know them she doesn't know Amanda from Adam. Here's what Mackenzie knows of Amanda. I'm going to show you guys as a mom who, as someone that's kind of been in similar shoes as Mackenzie, here's what Mackenzie knows as far as Amanda. Her mugshots and her record. That's what she knows. She knows that just, back in April, I think maybe like June, back in like June, Amanda was at a rehab facility. Possibly court ordered, who knows? So this is what a mother who has 2 children, this is what she sees as far as Amanda. She, and I'm not trying to go after Amanda because I follow Amanda on TikTok, and when she's not talking about Mackenzie and like in my opinion, like kind of stirring the pot, she's a funny person. She's very down to earth. She's very funny. But at the end of the day, when you take Mackenzie's, okay, she married him when he was driving out of his mind to the wedding. I get it. But does that mean that she is forever? It's funny because I feel like people can bring up the fact that Mackenzie married him when he was high driving to the wedding, and they don't want to get over that. Granted, I've talked about that before on here. What should she have done being a 20-year-old who in her mind she thinks he took Xanax? Because when she cut the camera off, she said, did you take Xanax? She didn't say, did you shoot up again? When you're 20, I mean, I never did drugs like that. But when you're 20, I know a lot of people, that was kind of like popping a Xanax when you're nervous wasn't a big deal. So she saw him like that, thought that he took a Xanax. Who knows what he told her? He may have told her, I'm nervous for the wedding. I'm nervous because we're filming. I'm nervous because we're filming and the wedding. So maybe he had told her in the past. Sometimes I take Xanax when we film because I'm nervous. We don't know. She was 20 years old. She was in a predicament of like, what is she supposed to do? She did not know the whole truth, the full truth, that he was like full blown strung out on heroin. I don't think for a second she knew that. I really don't. Do I think she handled it completely the correct way? No. But I don't think that she really knew the extent of his addiction issues, right? I think she thought he took Xanax. The cameras were there. They were to film the wedding. So she was probably in this predicament of like, I think he just took Xanax. Like he's lying about it, but I do think he took Xanax. What am I supposed to do? Cancel the whole wedding because he potentially took Xanax? Would you do that if you thought your fiance took Xanax? She should have told him to pull over. She should have gotten the driver's seat. But everybody wants to hold that against Mackenzie. Well, you asked for it. You asked for it. You let him drive. You saw him drive high out of his mind to the wedding. But everybody can be very quick to forgive Ryan. He's the one that actually did it. He's the one that actually drove high to the wedding. He's the one that was so absent from Bentley's life to the point that Bentley looked at him as like an older brother. He is the one that threatened the man that does take care of Bentley. He threatened to come over there and put a bullet in his. he trashed the house, all these things. I feel like when I read the comments on my TikToks and other TikToks, all the people that want to like attack Mackenzie and say, well, she deserved it. We tried to tell her. Why would Mackenzie listen to a bunch of people she don't know? I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm going to give somebody a chance. I'm not going to listen to a bunch of people I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I'm going to feel like that's unfair. I'm going to feel like it's highly unfair that I read all these comments on the internet from people I don't know telling me, oh, leave, 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 leave. He's not good for you when you're treating me differently. And I'm sure he was. I'm sure Ryan was treating Mackenzie in a way that we did not really get to see, in a way that she thought like, well, he's a good guy. Why would I leave him? Like, yeah, seeing the way that him and Mackenzie was, he's not like that with me. You know, so it just really doesn't make sense. And I don't feel like I also feel like that's kind of unfair. Like I've met people through the internet that, you know, my husband will be like, I don't think they're good people. And I'm like, well, they're good to me. And I give them a shot. And usually they end up slapping me in the face. And my husband usually is like, told ya. But I just don't feel like it's fair to take advice from a bunch of people you don't know when the person that's in your life may be treating you like they deserve that chance. And that's probably what she was seeing. So Amanda's like, Mackenzie said that we do drugs, but that's not true. Well, why would Mackenzie really believe that y'all weren't? You know, because addicts are known to lie. So you can't judge a mom who literally is going to put her two kids in y'all's presence for y'all to take care of and tend to, if this is what like y'all's records are. You know, like I don't think I would do it either. I would think you and Ryan would need to be doing better longer than a few months before I allow my children to be staying at a house with you. And I like Amanda, I do, but that would just me. I don't care when it comes to my kids. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Ryan overdosed behind the wheel. She saw him drive. She thought on Xanax. She later found out it was on heroin. He overdosed behind the wheel. She's supposed to trust a known liar to say that he's sober? Addicts are just known liars, and I don't say that to like attack them. I really don't, because that's part of like recovery is like relearning to be honest, you know? So she's supposed to just trust with her kids. No, I'm sorry, I wouldn't do it either. But let's go ahead. Let's continue and let's continue listening.
Does not only get DRUGS tested at his probation, but he has his classes, his NAA meetings, his Zooms. He is booked completely on top of work. And as for me, well, let me just show you. 4-hour parenting class that I did. Hair follicle. I can't read these out loud. Period. Everyone knows how long a hair follicle goes back. These are the charges that...
Okay, let me comment really quickly on this. Okay, so this says certificate of completion 4-hour parenting class, and it says Amanda Hancock, which I assume is was like her maiden name, married name, something. She's been married a couple of times, so I don't know which is which. That's awesome. That is awesome that she's went to parenting classes, but we do know that Janelle Evans has been to 37 million. And look at her. So it's a 4-hour class. I mean, I do give her props that she went to a parenting class. I think that's awesome. The courts mandated that she go to that parenting class, so I do think that's great that she did it. And she recently regained custody of her son. I think that's awesome. Duchess says, I teach those classes. To be honest, they're crap, and it's only 4 hours. I don't really know if you can really teach someone. I feel like I'm probably going to make somebody mad when I say this, but if you have birthed a child, there's a part of me that feels like if you have birthed a child and you don't have that motherly instinct to know how to take care of them, you have to go to a class. that teaches you how to take care of them, I'm like, okay, maybe that's not fair because when you're on drugs, it affects um so many aspects of who you are. So maybe that's not fair to say that. I guess because she lost custody of her son when he was 1 or 2 years old and she was on drugs, that's probably why they want to make sure that she undergoes parenting classes just to make sure she does know how to tend to her child. But I think if you don't know how to take care of a child, 4 hours worth of parenting classes is not going to be what you need. Like, it's probably going to take a lot more than that. But, and maybe parenting does come natural to her, but it was just something that the court mandated. But still, let's continue. So she took a 4 hour parenting class. She got her certificate. So, I mean, I do applaud her for taking the class, completing it. But at the end of the day, when I'm looking at this from Mackenzie's side, I'm going to be like, and I don't care. I don't care. That's just going to be me when it comes to my kids. Let's continue.
Hair follicle. I can't read these out loud.
Okay, so she shows that she took a hair follicle test, and I think the date on that is November something. So I do have a bigger screenshot of it that we're going to look at in just a little bit. So she took a hair follicle test in like November, on November something, and she says you guys know how far those go back. So let me just backstory, or let me tell you guys a little bit of a story time for me. When I was falsely arrested back in 2019, they found a bag that at once contained my children's chalk in it, and they said it was cocaine. So I myself went and got a hair follicle test done because I was like, I'm fighting these charges. That is crazy that they're trying to say I had cocaine in my car. I don't do cocaine. I've never seen cocaine, and I absolutely would not have it in my car at all. So I was like, I'm gonna go get it was not ordered for me to do a hair follicle test. I never even went to court over my charges. Never even made it to court. It was dismissed. I sued the police department and the sheriff's department, and I got a settlement. So when I first looked into getting a hair follicle test, it said that it can go back to like 12 to 18 months. And I was like, great, awesome, love it. Because the further back that it went, the more it proved that, well, I don't do drugs. Why would I have cocaine in my car if I didn't do drugs? Unless I guess you could say that I was selling it, maybe, but no. So I was very ecstatic to learn that I could go get a hair follicle test and it would show that anywhere from 12 to 18 months, there was no drugs, nothing, not a zip in my system for someone that was arrested for drugs, right? So I went, I did the hair follicle test. When I asked the lady, how long is going to go back, and she said it's just different times for different people. When I got my form emailed to me telling me that there was absolutely no drugs at all in my system, it said on it that it only went back 90 days. So I was disappointed. I was like, 90 days? What the 90 days? I mean, granted, I went the Monday after I was arrested. Or actually, it wasn't the Monday. I called that Monday and they got me in that Friday. So it was still like within the time frame, because I got arrested on a Saturday, got out that Sunday, called that Monday, went that Friday. But yeah, it went back 90 days. And I was kind of disappointed that it didn't go back further. So I know the word is that these things go back 12 to 18 months or whatever. And maybe some do. I don't know. But mine did not. And I couldn't see on here where it said how far back hers went. But congratulations that she did take this test and she did pass. I just couldn't find anywhere on there how far back it went. Still, if I was Mackenzie, I would be like, great that you took a hair follicle test, great that you passed. But guess what addicts are also known to do? Relapse. So if I was the mom, I'd say, you need more time under your belt. Sorry. Bottom line, if I was Mackenzie, I would need Ryan and Amanda to have more sober time under their belts before I'm letting my kids just go stay the night with them, hang out at their house. These are my kids, my children. Ryan's never been a dad. I mean, he's never had that role where he had his kids at his house, taking care of them without Mimi there. You know what I'm saying? So am I gonna, and some don't relapse. That I do want to say some don't, and that's awesome. That's awesome that some don't. but some do. And that would be my train of thought, is that addicts can relapse. You need more sober time under your belt. I'm sorry. Let's continue listening.
Period. Everyone knows how long a hair follicle goes back. These are the charges that were expunged. There's going to be like 3 rows of these.
Okay, let me say this. She's showing like this, and she says, these are the charges that I recently had expunged. It's going to go back a good bit. So I think her and Ryan did a TikTok video not too long ago where he said something about how many charges she had, and it was a lot. And she come back and she said, hey, I just got some of those expunged last week. And I remember when she said how many she got expunged, I was like, girl, you even had that many? It was a lot. It was a lot. I'll see if I can find the TikTok, but she was like, I just got 10 expunged last week. And I was like, so the fact that she is showing that she's got all these expunged, mama, me, like if I was Mackenzie, I would be like, that's great. You've got these expunged, but that tells me you've gotten in trouble with the law a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to look at this from like both points, because I do like Amanda, but I also like resonate with Mackenzie, and there are children involved here. And at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't give a shit about your feelings. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to protect my kids. Call me a clout chaser. Say I'm dumb. Say I was warned. Whatever. What's that got to do with my kids? What's that got to do with me protecting my kids? And that's why I feel like Mackenzie she's like, she don't care to really respond to comments. She don't, she really just don't even care, because she's like, at the end of the day, no matter what I do, people say I'm a clout chaser, that I was dumb, that they warned me, when all I'm trying to do now is protect my kids. That's it. But everybody wants to continue talking about all this other stuff that don't matter.
These.
With every slice, the problem grows more alarming. These lungs have no choice.
Also, I've had a lot of people ask how I had those many charges dropped. So I literally just went to the courthouse and asked them to be expunged.
Actually, let's back it up to where she talks about all that she had dropped, because I don't know if she actually said. Maybe so. Let's see.
These are the charges that were expunged. There's going to be like 3 rows of these.
With every slice, the problem grows more alarming. These lungs have no choice.
Also, I've had a lot of people ask how I had those many charges dropped. So I literally just went to the courthouse and asked them to be expunged. From the date of the charge, if you do not get in trouble for a year or plus following, they will allow you to expunge those. Now, there are some that I have to wait longer to be able to expunge, but that's how I did it. Not to mention this lovely job that I got at a facility helping others that were in the same situation as me.
I ain't been getting high.
I'm really proud that she hasn't, and I'm really proud that she got custody of her son back. I think that's amazing. Another thing that I would be thinking of if I was Mackenzie, okay, you're sober, you're pretty new sober. They apparently just made a year. You're pregnant, so hormones are going to be all over the place. You just got custody back of your son. So you're trying to get situated in that, and that's a whole new world for you. So why would I send my kids over there when you got all of that happening, where it may be difficult for you to keep up with the newness that you have now? You went from not having your kid, not being pregnant, to, just living with your boyfriend, to pregnant, hormones raging, to having a son there that you're getting to and from school, and a new job thrown into the mix. So I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't want to throw my kids into the middle of that when you're just so newly handling all of these things and trying to get into a routine of this newness. You know what I'm saying? But here, let's watch this suspect challenge that she posted a while back, because it talks about the charges.
Can't fix his girlfriend's car. No. Suspect is a mechanic, but can't fix his girlfriend's car. No.
If you printed all suspects' charges off, it would be thicker than the Webster dictionary.
I just want to say
say that I had 30 of those charges expunged last week. Suspect.
Okay. She said, I just want to say I had 30 of those charges expunged last week. Man, Amanda, I like you as a person, like your personality. I like it. I think you're really down to earth. But if I was Mackenzie, you just had 30 of those expunged last week. You're going to need more than a year. And as long as you're like crap talking me on social media, it'd be even longer. I'm sorry. Like, because I know Amanda said the other day, like, I would never talk bad about Mackenzie to her kids. But if you're constantly talking about me on social media where one day they could see it, how would I know that you wouldn't like say something? Mackenzie has no reason to trust Ryan or Amanda. None whatsoever. She has no reason to. And I get it. Like, people's going to be like, Mackenzie wants to run her mouth on social media so Amanda can clap back. The only thing that I've ever really seen Mackenzie say is when people has asked her 30. She says she had 30 of those expunged the week before. Yes. Okay. I am so proud that Ryan and Amanda are doing great. That's awesome. I'm happy about it because everybody deserves a life being sober and experiencing, especially when you go down that path of addiction, getting to experience a sober life again and being happy and getting another chance. Like, I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy that Bentley is getting to be in his dad's life and his dad got to be at his birthday party and him and his dad get to go golfing. I love that. But this is still pretty new for Mackenzie. She may be exaggerating. I don't know. I know she's got quite a record. And in the TikTok video, like several pages went through showing charges. I've never delved in to look up how many she has, but I will say she's got a bunch of mugshots. It sounded to me like she was like being like, no, I just got 30 of them expunged last week. It sounded to me like she was like, no, like I got 30. Maybe she was exaggerating. I don't know. I wouldn't exaggerate that. Just saying, I would not exaggerate that at all. Let me see. Okay. Amanda Connor criminal record. Let's see. Amanda Connor mugshots. I wish I could find something that just tells me how, like, okay, let's see. Okay, Amanda Connor once arrested for possession of meth, heroin, and dealing drugs. Ugh. So Ryan is dating single mother Amanda after meeting in rehab. There's a couple of her mugshots. A source close to Amanda exclusively told The Sun that she is infamous in Chattanooga because of her bad girl reputation. The insider claimed Amanda is trouble. Okay, so if she's infamous in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and she went to school with Macy, maybe Mackenzie has heard about her and knows more than we know. Amanda's trouble. She's been in and out of the system since she was old enough to catch a charge. She's not a good influence on Ryan. The Sun obtained court records from a handful of drug-related charges. On September 22nd, Amanda was arrested on multiple warrants. The incident report reads, upon arriving to Hamilton County Jail, Amanda was subject to a strip search due to a history of narcotic charges. Female jail staff found a small Ziploc plastic bag containing a white crystal substance that Connor stated was meth. The bag was located in Connor's bra. The substance is consistent with meth with an approximate weight of less than a half gram. She was charged with simple possession. Her bond was set at $6,000 and she entered a guilty plea March 23rd. She received a jail sentence of 11 months and 29 days. The Chattanooga Police Department then arrested Amanda on April 25th, 2018, after a call was made for a suspicious person at CVS. When officers arrived at the scene, Amanda was in the car with two other men. The report read an officer conducted a pat down of the female, located a small lump on the left side of Connor's bra. When asked about it, she offered to remove it from her bra. She removed a small clear bag of methamphetamines from her bra and a small clear bag of light tan powder that appeared to be heroin. In the vehicle, the officer found spoons and clear plastic bags, commonly used for selling narcotics. The report continued during the interview. Connor gave a spontaneous utterance that she sells narcotics. All right, then. She was arrested and charged with possession of a controlled substance. Amanda entered a guilty plea July 12, 2018. She received a sentence of 11 months and 29 days in jail that was ultimately suspended and to be served on probation because of good behavior. On November 6, 2021, the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office busted Amanda with an expired registration and a license plate that didn't belong to the vehicle. The report read, God, this is crazy. I located numerous items considered to be drug paraphernalia during a probable cause search warrant. Good night, Melissa. I also located marijuana and meth. I charged Connor with the misuse of the registration, simple possession of marijuana, and possession of drug paraphernalia. All of the charges were dismissed per the district attorney's office on April 10, 2023. Interesting. On June 31st, 2022, an officer of the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office stopped Amanda when he observed no registration displayed on her car. The report read, the above violator was in possession of marijuana, drug paraphernalia, and multiple food stamp cards and debit cards that belonged to other people. I already know what she was doing with those food stamp cards. I heard about that. So a friend of mine that is a recovering addict, so what they do with the food stamp cards is addicts that get food stamps, they will give their dealer their food stamp card in exchange for drugs. She was charged with possession of a controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and fraudulent use of credit debit card. The possession of a controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia were dismissed by the district attorney. All right, then. For the fraud charge, she received a suspended sentence for good behavior for 11 months and 29 days to be completed on probation. On June 21st, 2023, the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office arrested Amanda on warrants for driving under the influence and 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance. She was listed as being homeless in court papers. Wow. These charges are what landed her at CADAS Rehab at the same time as Ryan. Wow, she was homeless. The U.S. Fund, here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to say right now. How many times did it say that the DA dismissed her charges? Twice that we saw that on different charges, as well as she received a suspended sentence. So here's the thing. If the DA, and they did this with Ryan Edwards as well, if the DA or the judge would have demanded that she go to rehab or CADAS prior, maybe she wouldn't have gotten as many charges as that she did, and maybe she would have got sober way before she did if she actually got a decent sentencing before and not charges dropped, sentence suspended. Like, my goodness. It's crazy. Someone with a record like hers and Ryan's to get like a suspended sentence and get to go home or something, like, wow. All right, let's see. She was listed as being homeless. That's what landed her in CADAS Rehab at the time as Ryan. Let's see, what was those that landed? That was July. Okay, so June 21st, 2023, she was arrested for driving under the influence. She had warrants. She had warrants for driving under the influence and 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance. So that's been a year and a half. A year and a half ago that she was pulled over, multiple warrants for driving under the influence, 2 counts of possession. They sent her to CADAS. The Sun previously reported on her long history of legal troubles going back to 2009 in Hamilton County alone. According to the Hamilton County Court website, some arrests include theft under $500 in February 2009, where she received a suspended sentence of 11 months, 29 days, placed on probation, theft of property June 2016, where she received the same judgment. August 2017, she was arrested again for possession of a controlled substance. She pleaded guilty and was ordered to CADAS. This 2017. She's already been to CADAS, so I guess they did try that. Amanda found herself in trouble again when she was busted on August 19, 2023. Hold up. Okay, Amanda found herself in trouble again when she was busted August 19, 2023 for for drugs general category for resale, possession of controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and contraband in a penal institution. All charges were dismissed by the DA's office. What? Okay, so I was thinking that June 21st was the last time she got in trouble because she was sent to CADAS after that. But August is 2 months later. August 19th. So she got in trouble again in August. September, October, November, December. That was 4 months ago. What? No. That was not 4 months ago. I'm sorry. That was 4 months after she was sent to CADAS. So did she, I'm confused. If she went to CADA due to that, okay, whatever. August. So August 2023, she was still selling drugs, had drugs with her. So it's been a year and 4 months, possibly. All right, a year and 4 months. And she met Ryan at CADAS. So here's what I got to say to it. You know, Amanda says, well, Mackenzie told the judge that we were doing drugs. Well, look at what Mackenzie has to go by. All she has to go by is court records, what she knows, what she sees. Literally, the report said you're infamous in Chattanooga. Everybody knows about you because you've been catching charges since you've been old enough. You got a ton of mug shots. So if that was me, I'm sorry, I'd be concerned too. I would, and I want to address this, and I don't. Okay, here's the thing. There was a comment that I read that said, and you've been here with me for a while, but I'm going to address it. Sorry, don't believe Mack is doing this because of her kids. Because she was cool having kids with Ryan when she knew he was struggling with drugs. Wasn't an issue when he was with her. Okay, so think about it like this. When someone is your family and you consider them your family and you realize how bad their problem is, you're going to give them way more leniency than some random person you don't know. I have people in my family that deal with addiction. I'll let them come to my house. You know, they're sober. They're my family. I'm going to treat them differently than just some person out in the world that I don't know, especially if the person out in the world that I don't really know is talking crap about me. So Ryan, I wholeheartedly believe that Mackenzie knew that Ryan was partaking in things, but I don't think she knew that he was on heroin. I don't think she did. And let's say she did know that he was suffering with some sort of an addiction. Okay. A lot of times, the people that you love, you are not just going to turn your back on them over these things. She stood by his side when he went to rehab. She was pregnant. He went to rehab. You know, and she was there for him when he come home, trying to support. She went to the Al-Anon classes to try to educate herself on it. Did she make some mistakes? Absolutely. You know, blaming Macy, that was dumb. That was dumb. But we often, just like your husband, you know, anybody that's married in here, you're going to give your husband, if your husband says something dumb to you, are you going to act the way you may act if you let some random person that you don't really know pop off to you? No, like you're going to. So I just, of course, that was her husband. Was she, the moment she found out, was she going to leave him or was she going to try to help him get help? Ryan went to rehab before the episode even aired. He went to rehab. He was in rehab by the time that episode aired. I think she thought that he was partaking in something. Xanax will absolutely make you fall asleep like that. It did it to me when I was under the influence. Well, not under the, when I was prescribed Xanax because I was working a full-time job as a manager of a finance company and 2 kids and single, and they prescribed me the lowest dosage of Xanax. It knocked me on my ass. I could not work. I had to go in my back office and take a nap. I literally had my computer like this, probably with my tongue hanging out. So, especially if she's somebody that's like uneducated regarding drugs, if he was to tell her, I take Xanax every once in a while, and that's what did it to me. So, okay, I think my husband took Xanax on the way to our wedding because we're having a wedding and it's being filmed and he's shy and he don't like filming, so he took this Xanax. Am I going to leave him all of a sudden? Am I going to send him to rehab all of a sudden? I mean, just consider yourself. If your husband has a headache and his sister, we know it's illegal, but let's not act like people don't do it, or a bad toothache and you can't get to the dentist. So, you have a family member that like has a pharmacy at her house because she's had every ailment known to man. So you have this horrible toothache and you can't get in. So you call, your aunt or whatever and say, do you have anything? And you end up taking something. So, are you going to leave your husband all of a sudden because he did something illegal? No, Yeah, I think it's easier to be fooled by a pro than anyone realizes. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you the reason why I don't think she knew. As someone that's been studying body language for over 2 years that went back and watched the video footage, I don't think she knew. I think she knew that he was partaking in things. When Mackenzie turned the cameras off, unbeknownst to her, the audio was still on. What did she say? She didn't say, Ryan, did you shoot up again? Ryan, are you on heroin? She said, Ryan, did you take a Xanax? How many people is going to leave their husband for taking a Xanax? Now, I might get really mad if my husband takes a Xanax or we're due to go somewhere and he's falling asleep behind the wheel. That's going to piss me off. And I'm going to tell his ass to pull over. And I'm probably going to keep him awake until we get to where we're going, riding his butt for doing that. He has somewhere to go. Why are you going to do that? Falling asleep behind the wheel. You could have killed us. Am I going to leave him? Am I going to send him to rehab? No. Another thing. He used to blame Macy for saying he had a drug problem on the show. But now I think he's thankful she told because now it made their co-parenting better. I will say Mackenzie blaming Macy, dumb. That still infuriates me when I watch it. I think that's horrible. Colby says, shout out to the hubby and wives sticking by their loved ones throughout their addiction and being there for them to get sober. Exactly. I feel like it's crazy that we can continue to be mad at Mackenzie because she did call him out. Everybody's like, she let him drive high. No, well, I mean, the second she realized, she was like, why are you swerving? And he's like, my eyes, I can't keep them open. The sun in my eyes. And she was like, Ryan, what's wrong with you? She ripped the cameras down and she was like, did you take a Xanax? So we don't really know what happened after that point. Maybe, I don't know, because I think it did show them pull up at the wedding and him in the driver's seat. So I guess she continued to let him drive. I forgot where I was going with that. Okay, but that happened. So we're going to be mad at that she let him drive high, whatever, which, yeah, that was dumb. But people are more mad that she did that versus the fact that he did it. People are more mad over the fact that she did it versus all the other things that he did. Bentley was like 15 years old before he started being a dad. Bentley looked at him as a younger brother. Look at how many times he's been arrested. Look at how he trashed the house. So, and he was sober for a while. He was sober for a while where they lived a normal life, where he was working as a mechanic. And I think when she probably started realizing that he had problems again, we don't know what transpired in that house. We don't know if when she started realizing that he had problems again, if she asked him to get help and he said, no, I'm not going to get help. I don't have a problem. We don't know that, Well, I explained why, on a previous video on if I thought my husband took Xanax every once in a while, even if I thought he maybe was taking them more than I preferred, would I cancel my wedding to him? Especially with the camera crews there ready to film. I don't, especially at 20 years old. Oh my God, I took some dumb stuff at 20 years old. I mean, I was blind at 20 years old. That's why I guess I have so much sympathy for Mackenzie because I went through a lot. My older kid's dad was full-on addict, and I had no idea because I was so dumb to drugs because I did not do them, so I did not know about them. I knew he smoked weed. I begged him not to. We broke up on and off when I found out that he did, but I did not know that he was doing other things. Had no idea until we broke up, and years later he told me that he was suffering with this addiction and that addiction as well throughout our relationship. And I was like, wow, I had no idea. At 20 years old, I was so naive and dumb. So I do give her grace. Yeah, I don't think she would have believed Macy in the first place. I don't, because what do we tend to do when people confront us or tell us about our loved ones? That's why I actually knew the situation. Y'all forget what it's like to be freshly in love, young, and yes, naive to the world. It happens. Exactly. And I'm just like, are just so, oh, she's a clout chaser. She wants it for money. She's not doing this for her kids. I'm sorry, but Mackenzie takes care of those kids. She works as a medical representative, uh, making like $3,000 a month, not a lot of money. She could literally go do interviews, sell out stuff that Ryan did throughout their marriage. She probably got text messages she could sell to the tabloids. She could find ways to make money, but she's literally trying to stay out of the public spotlight as much as possible and just live her life. She got her house fixed and she made a post about it and everybody went crazy. Like, oh my gosh, forget it, girl, leave it alone. So she can't show how she came from like where she was in 2023 to now with her family, but Ryan can. And I'm all for them both doing it because I'm like, they both went through hell. In 2023, they were both going through hell. So why in 2024, when things are looking up to them for them, why can't they post about that? She don't post about the situation with Ryan. She literally made a post of the house that he trashed and tore up and what it looks like now, her family home again. And I mean, people in the comments like tore her up. And I was like, dude, remember he's the one that trashed the house. We can literally commend Ryan on where he is today. He can have a baby shower and everybody's like singing his praises over the fact that he's sober right now. But we can't sing a single mom's praises for paying out of pocket to fix the house that her baby daddy destroyed. We can't say good job. Damn. Oh, there's no way it took her 2 years to fix that house. There's no way. How do you know? And just because she just posted it, it wasn't 2 years. It was a year and a half. It was a year and a half. But just because she just posted it, how do we know that it didn't get completely fixed, earlier? And she just now put the video up. We don't know. Exactly. We can support Ryan's sobriety and hold him accountable at the same time. Why would Amanda make fun of her asking for child support seem so heartless after she knows all that went down? And that's another thing too. Like I said, I love that Ryan's sober. I like Amanda as a person when I see her other content. But yeah, like Amanda Mackenzie, she didn't even technically file for child support. It was in the like divorce filing or whatever. It like comes with it because people called her out on it, like, oh, you money hungry, filing for child support. She was like, I didn't even technically file. Like that just came in the divorce paperwork. Like my lawyer did it, but why shouldn't he pay child support? I'm like, she's getting like people are attacking her for asking for child support for 2 kids that she did not make on her own. Really? Like that's wild. But after news broke that child support was requested, Amanda dresses up as Mackenzie. And it's like everybody laughs about that and continues to attack Amanda, continues to attack Mackenzie. And I'm just like, as a mom that's been in that position, that no, you don't want to take care of your kids. And then when, my lawyer files for child support, your girlfriend's picking on me on the internet, like that's not okay. Also, the Ashley put out an article we're going to go over really quickly because I've been going too long. And if anybody agrees with me, that's okay. That's okay. I understand because I see it. Like I see how much people hate Mackenzie. And I'm like, the girl made some mistakes, but I just can't compare because I'm like apples to oranges with what Ryan did was way worse. What Ryan did was way worse. And I don't question whether or not Mackenzie loves her kids. I don't. She's at home with them every day. She works. She brings them the money. She fixed their house so they could be back in that home because that's the house that her kids love and that's their house. And someone actually commented on my video about the repairs of the house, and they said, why would she even allow her kids to see that? Well, because when they came home, she had her kids, and that's what they walked into, and she didn't know what the hell she was walking into. So it just so happened she came home from work with her kids in tow, and that's what they came into. I'm sure if Mackenzie would have known that Ryan destroyed the house, she would have went and checked it out by herself and not with her kids in tow. It's like, why would she bring her kids to see that? Well, why the hell would Ryan do it? We more mad that we think she brought the kids to see it than the fact that Ryan did it. Like, where's that logic? I don't get it. So, I'm all for Ryan being sober. I love it. I hope he has a great, happy life. I hope he continues to be a part of Bentley's life. I hope he is a great dad to his and Amanda's child, their daughter. I hope Amanda continues to be sober, and I hope she and her son can grow a bond that, they probably didn't have before. And I hope that Ryan will have a great relationship with Jagger and Stella. I hope they get there. But this is new for Mackenzie. This is a year and a half. It's been a year and a half. Where was Macy at a year and a half after her and Ryan split up? And Ryan didn't do near the crap to Macy that he did to Mackenzie. Did Mackenzie make some mistakes that Macy didn't make? Absolutely. Did Macy handle things in a better way than Mackenzie did? Absolutely. She did. But even with all of that said, it still took Macy years to get to a place where her and Ryan could be friends. So we were okay with it taking Macy her time to get to that point, but we're not okay with Mackenzie. We should just no, those are his kids. You're being petty. Like, I don't care. Call me petty. Call me whatever you want. I don't give a crap. And I just feel like if Mackenzie didn't love her kids, she would let her kids go over there. She would put them off as much as possible so she could go out and do things for herself. And she's paying for everything. He don't even pay anything right now. And she don't even make a lot of money. Like, we got Ryan over here he's a diesel mechanic. He makes good money. And he's filming for the show. And she's making like $3,000 a month. And she's taking care of every aspect of her children's needs. And the few times that she's asked Ryan for things, he's kind of been rude to her about it because he got so much crap. Because Mackenzie got so much crap. You don't let Ryan see his kids. She ended up having to put some screenshots out to show, like, that's not the truth. He's got supervised visits at his mom's house. And there's been times I've offered to let him see the kids and he don't come. So that's not true. But let's go over this article from the Ashley really quickly. It is talking about their divorce because Ryan is saying he's accusing Mackenzie of stalling the divorce. He's accusing Mackenzie of stalling the divorce, but Mackenzie is accusing Ryan of stalling the divorce. All right, so it says, I think it will get to a place where they can be civil, but I think as long as like Amanda and Mackenzie continue to kind of go at it, I think it will just push that date back further and further and further. That's why if I had any advice to share with Amanda, I would just say, like, as hard as it is, girl, like, just try to let Ryan handle that with Mackenzie and just try to stay out of it. Like, as hard as that is, I understand. But if you ever want to get to a place to where like you want you and Mackenzie to get along and y'all to be able to co-parent in a way that's like civil, and especially if you ever want to have what you have with Macy, the only way you can obtain that is just kind of taking a step back and letting Ryan handle everything with Mackenzie. All right, so Ryan Edwards is set to welcome his first child with fiancée Amanda Connor in February. However, Ryan is currently still married to Mackenzie, and he is now blaming Mackenzie for prolonging their divorce proceedings. Exactly. What an exhausting mess. All innocent kids. According to The Sun, Ryan filed a motion to continue on November 21st, and he accused Mackenzie of not filing the proper information in order to move forward with the divorce. In the documents obtained by The Sun, it says Ryan propounded to Mackenzie certain interrogatories and requested for production on May 15, 2024. The court ordered Ryan to respond by June 20th, 2024. Ryan filed a motion to compel, which is currently pending to be heard on November 25th, 2024. Due to Mackenzie's failure to provide discovery answers, Ryan is unable to complete the requested document in this case. When the filing also reportedly notes that the court ordered Ryan and Mackenzie to return to mediation in the case, Ryan requested that Mackenzie file her discovery response no later than December 2nd and requested that the judge schedule mediation instead of a trial. In response to her soon-to-be ex-husband's claims, Mackenzie told The Sun that Ryan has requested that the hearing for the divorce be pushed back on 4 separate occasions. So, Ryan accuses Mackenzie of prolonging the divorce. The Sun reaches out to Mackenzie to say, what's your comment on this? And she's like, oh, he's accusing me of pushing it back? He's literally pushed it back on 4 separate occasions. So how am I the one pushing it back? So she suggested that Ryan is the one to blame for the divorce. He has a child on the way and is reportedly engaged to Amanda, Mackenzie told the outlet. I wish he would be more willing to close this chapter between us and focus on what lies ahead for him. Same, Tara, same. According to Ryan and Mackenzie's divorce case, a hearing to adopt a temporary parenting plan for the ex's children was postponed by Ryan at least 4 times. So this was a hearing to adopt a temporary parenting plan. It has been postponed by Ryan 4 times, which one, we're not going to blame him, which I would still probably blame him, including back in January 2022 when Ryan's attorney withdrew from the case. A new attorney went on to file to represent Ryan. So I would say the one that he missed, I would have went to if it was me. Mack filed to end her and Ryan's marriage February 2023 before going on to file an order of protection against Ryan the following month. While the order of protection was granted, it was eventually dropped during a July 2023 court hearing to allow Ryan to speak to Jagger and Stella through Mackenzie. And here's one reason why I also say I feel like Mackenzie does try to give Ryan the chance. After everything that happened, after she filed for divorce, she had to get a restraining order. He trashed her house. He held a knife to her back and told her, if I can't have you, nobody will. After he made threats to her, he got physical with her in front of the kids. She got the restraining order. And a few months later, Mackenzie still let Ryan's parents see the kids. Because that restraining order was in place, Ryan could only talk to Jagger and Stella when they were at Jen and Larry's house. So at that court hearing in July, Mackenzie went. And she stood up and told the judge, I would like to drop it. So when I have the kids, he can talk to them there as well. Because as long as that restraining order was in place, Ryan could not call Mackenzie and talk to his kids. So she did that. And at the hearing, that I remember the Sun put out an article, Mackenzie told the judge that her kids asked to talk to Ryan. She told the judge, like I'm faced with my kids, at home asking to talk to their dad, and I can't do it because it's restraining order. So I would like to drop it so my kids can talk to their dad. So I just feel like if she wasn't trying to do like what she could have been an asshole and said, I'm not dropping it. I don't care. And this was also around the time that Ryan began dating Amanda. Ryan and Mackenzie's divorce was dismissed in February because there were no filings within 270 days. So weeks later, Ryan filed a new complaint for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Ryan also requested to split custody of his and Mackenzie's children and requested that child support be assigned from Mackenzie's income. Ryan requested to split the custody of the kids and that Mackenzie pay him child support, knowing that Mackenzie don't even make a ton of money. He makes more than her. In October, well, at the time he didn't because he was unemployed, but in October, Mackenzie sued Ryan for allegedly refusing to pay child support for Jagger and Stella, whom she claims are in their father's care 0 days out of the year. In the court documents, Mackenzie noted that Ryan is gainfully employed, earning more than 6 times what she does in 1 month. Because mother has physical custody of the party's 2 children and the father is gainfully employed, the court should order child support to be paid by father to mother during the pendency of this case. And at the final hearing, said child support obligation be made permanent. Mackenzie listed her monthly income as $3,000 a month. Meanwhile, and let me just say, I know in Louisiana, you can't just state your income. You have to bring proof because in a video that I did, somebody was like, "You think Mackenzie's going to tell the truth about how much she makes?" Child support court, you usually have to bring your last 2 pay stubs. If you don't have pay stubs, you have to bring your taxes to prove how much you make. You just can't go and say, "Well, I make this," unless you have absolutely no way to prove anything. Like if you, I guess if you, well, I know like, okay, my older kid's dad, he was paid under the table cash and he had just started the job. So he was able to use that. But Mackenzie works in the medical field. So guaranteed she turned over pay stubs. In good faith, she estimated Ryan's income because he had appeared on Teen Mom the Next Chapter to be around $18,000 a month. Now, meanwhile, she did not say that she knew this for sure. She just said, "I think it's around this much." Considering she was with Ryan when he was on the show before, she probably felt like she had an idea. As he actually previously reported, Ryan earns $35,000 a paycheck from each episode of Teen Mom. Not, I mean, I guess you break that into, this is per episode, so I don't know how it'd be monthly. Either way, the 36-year-old also began working a regular job in August, making approximately $27 an hour as a diesel mechanic. In addition to requesting that the court set current child support, Mackenzie requested retroactive child support to the date of her and Ryan's separation. A court hearing for Mackenzie's child support request is scheduled to take place this month. North Carolina needs pay stubs as well for South Carolina, or for child support court. I don't know how I thought that. Okay, anyways, so that's where we're at. He blamed Mackenzie for delaying their divorce. Meanwhile, he's pushed the hearing back 4 times. So, yeah, I just think I wish people would give, because I'm like, I don't understand how Ryan could do all these things, but people more mad at Mackenzie. Like, granted, she did not, she made mistakes. Maybe she was in it for clout. I don't know. But I feel like if she was in it for clout, then why has she just went away pretty much? Like, why don't she do interviews? Why don't she could literally, I mean, she wouldn't make a whole bunch, but I know she could sell text messages between her and Ryan to the Sun for a couple $100. I mean, if they were juicy, she could constantly do interviews with the Sun and get, and get paid for it. She could do interviews, on YouTube channels to keep her face out there. And if she had her face out there, doing interviews on YouTube and talking to media outlets, then guess what? She becomes, yeah, she can sell her story to me. Like, my goodness. But the more that she was out there, say, selling stories to media outlets, doing YouTube interviews, or even like they would probably even bring her on like E News or something, Entertainment Tonight, because they covered all this with Ryan. Entertainment News, all of that covered the situation with Ryan. She could probably go there. And the more she put herself out there, the more profitable her name and face could be. And then she could start posting on social media even more and could probably make more money. Like, so I feel like she does kind of try to hide in the background a little bit. Every once in a while, she might make a post, and Lord, when she does, everybody wants to remind her of how horrible she is. And I'm like, the girl made some mistakes. Like, goodness. But are we really going to be more mad at her than Ryan with what all he did? This was his kid's house that he destroyed. And this is the woman that paid to fix it. But we're mad at her. So, anyways, you guys, I know I've rambled on and on and on when it comes to this. I guess just because Mackenzie's situation resonates with me. And I'm like, I know people will say these things. She's a clout chaser. How do we know that for sure? How do we know if she's a clout chaser for sure? Maybe, but on the off chance that she's not, and she was with Ryan because she really loved him, look what she went through. At the end of the day, she has 2 kids by this man, and I think she loves those kids. If you look at Mackenzie's Instagram, she posted this earlier. Let's see, where's she at? Hold on. I pray for life like this. Just at home, chilling with her kids, the house that's fixed, her kids. I mean, look at that. Does she look like someone that doesn't love her kids? That only wants to use them for pawns? I don't think so. She works hard for them. She works a job where she doesn't even make a ton of money. Has she made some mistakes? Sure. But when I look at her, I do see a woman that loves her kids. And I've been called that before by my baby daddy's new girlfriend who said I used my kids as pawns. And it's like, no, boo boo. I'm just not putting my kids in danger. That's what. So I guess maybe it hits me different because I've been called, my older kid's dad one time popped off like, if you can't take care of your kids, then don't have them, all over a child support situation. Because I had told their dad, like, one day I'm going to end up taking you to child support court. And his girlfriend made a whole post on Facebook about, well, if you can't take care of them kids, don't have them. But I didn't have them by myself. But guess what? For 16 years, I did take care of them by myself. Every once in a while, when I would maybe bring up child support, him and his girlfriend got mad at me and would pop off comments like that about me being money hungry. Somebody that's money hungry don't go 16 years without getting child support. I mean, I know a girl that literally, she got child support for her kids. She got $1,600 a month for 2 kids. And when their dad got stabbed 19 times and was in the hospital, she went up there to check on him. And he said, you're going to have to get my child support cut off. I don't know when I'm going to be able to go back to work. She said, well, I don't know what to tell you. You better figure it out because I'm not cutting child support off. That's how people act that they're like, no, in it for maybe more than just making sure they can take care of their kids, just to use the kids as a pawn maybe, or like, no, like she would be way more on top of child support. She would be out there in the media. Like, I don't think. Are you going to get Gypsy's book? Will you cover the book? If not, I may get it. I don't know. I have to think about that. I really have to think about that. I may get it and maybe go over it. I'm not sure. But anyways, you guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. I know I got some people that disagree with me, and that is okay. I hope maybe I told you some things that you can think about. I will tell you that I went back and I watched the video footage of the car incident not too long ago, and I just really did not pick up on any body language that told me that Mackenzie had grave concerns that he was on something more than just probably Xanax. And when I think of myself at 20 years old, would I have divorced my husband or sent him off to rehab or canceled the wedding? I probably would have broke up with him for a little bit because I was so scared of drugs at that age. But I know a lot of people wouldn't, I don't know more about the secret child, but Mackenzie's the one that said it. So I feel like she would probably know. She would probably know, So, Colby, I just read that. I just went over that article just a minute ago. But you guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe. Leave me your thoughts. And if you disagree with me, tell me why. And tell me if you do disagree with me, tell me if I gave you any points to where kind of made you see things a little bit different. I'm curious. Leave me your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe. And yeah, we don't always have to agree. That's fine. That's the beauty of just, the world is everybody sees things differently. But yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.